Welcome to episode 87 of A Message From. We're your hosts. I'm Alyson.
I'm Edward.
Today, we're talking about Hocus Pocus 2. But first, I think we both have some wild stories to share.
Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. Okay, so picture it. It's Thursday. I'm driving to Target, as one does. Driving through my parking lot, going real slow. There's speed bumps, children at play. I go over the speed bump really slow, and then I hear a noise, and I'm like, And so I'm driving, and something is flapping on my tire. Flap, 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 flap.
Was it a child?
Flap, 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 flap. Well, I'm like, my heart sinks. I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I run over? It hits me. There were some squirrels at play also next to the speed bump. I'm like, oh my gosh, a squirrel ran under my car. I've run it over. It's flapping over my tires. So I'm like, I pull over to the side. I'm like, something is still flapping on my tire. I need to check it out before I get out into the main road. So I'm looking. I see nothing. I'm like, for sure, if it was a squirrel, there would have been evidence that I crushed it and it was flapping around.
Yeah. Like the corpse.
Yeah, exactly.
Squirrel.
Or like debris or guts or something. So
yeah, at least a little blood.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing. I'm like,
nothing.
Maybe it was like a pine cone or something. There's some of those like fluffier pine cones around here, like not super hard. They look like stiff leaves almost. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
I'm like, pine cone, no big deal. It'll fly off when I get on the road. So I go about my business. No other issues. So Friday afternoon rolls around the following day. And I'm like, time to go to the gym. I signed up for the 6:15 p.m. class. Let's do this. Get out to my car. Turn my car on. Boop, 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 boop. Your tire pressure is 2. 2. It's supposed to be like 32 in the winter. It's 2. Not a puff of air left in the tire.
Would you not have seen that? I guess if it wasn't
fine
a tire
the day before.
No, but like when you're getting into your car to go
passenger
to the gym.
side.
But I guess I was gonna say it must not have been on the side of the car you would have gone into. Okay.
Passenger side.
Because 2, which means it's just
completely flat.
Rubber.
Yeah. Flapping rubber. Exactly. I'm like, 2, I can't drive this to the gym. I gotta call someone. I gotta get someone here. What am I gonna do? I was like, I'm going to the gym. I've been looking forward to this all day. I planned my schedule around this. I'm going. But at this point, I'm like, well, if I was gonna walk, I should have left already. Like,
looks like you're running.
I literally speed walking. I'm going. I walk into the gym.
Oh, you're speed walking. You're not even running.
Well, because I have a big gym bag. It would be like flapping all over, right? Like the squirrel.
To your body.
So
you are the tire. Yeah. The bag is the squirrel.
Exactly. So I get into the gym, and obviously because I've been traveling so much, I haven't been there in like a month. And so,
true.
Like the guy who's teaching class is like, oh my gosh, Alyson, hi, how are you? Comes to give me a hug. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm breathing so heavy. I'm so sweaty. I was like, I just ran here.
Don't know how you're so out of shape. Well, it's been a month.
Well, it's been a month, right? Okay. And I wasn't expecting this like power walk to the gym. So anyway, call AAA, pay for their service, right? I pay every year for this stupid little membership. So I have roadside assistance anytime, any place, anywhere. The only 2 times I've ever needed them, they've screwed me. So I call them. The lady's like, yeah, no big deal. Let me transfer to the dispatcher. I get transferred. The guy's super nice, confirms all my information. He's like, okay, it should be about like an hour and a half maybe. We'll give you a call when your driver's on the way. 3 hours later, still no call. And at this point, it's like 10:30 p.m. So I'm like, okay.
Way past your bedtime.
Way past my bedtime, and they're obviously not coming. So I call back. I'm like, look, I just need an update. Here's my service request number. And the lady's like, let me transfer you to dispatch. Get to dispatch. I give him my service number, and he's like, no, I'm like, what do you mean no? He goes, oh, it looks like someone canceled that. I don't know why. And I'm like,
oh no, like someone was just like doing it fast and like accidentally canceled your thing?
Yeah, apparently.
Gag.
So, yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, can you connect me with someone who's not going to cancel? I was like, can I get a different driver?
Cancel me.
Yeah, can you get a different driver or whatever? He's like, yeah, no problem. We'll transfer you to someone else. Transfers me to the same guy I spoke to 3 hours earlier, who then proceeds to act like we never spoke. Like he has no recollection of speaking to me just 3 hours before.
Well, he's improving. You were supposed to yes and. You said no, but.
I was like, whatever, get someone out. So it's the same spiel, right? Okay, we'll give you a call when your driver's on his way, give you an estimated time. I was like, you don't have an estimated time now? And he's like, well, it should be about like an hour and 20 minutes. So at this point, I'm like, great. It's going to be friggin' midnight when someone comes to put a stupid donut on my car. So,
my God.
So anyway, hour later, the guy shows up. It's 11:30 p.m. I'm out there and I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done. It's 11:30 p.m. It's dark. I'm outside with a random man who now knows my phone number. He knows my home address. He knows what kind of car I drive. Like, I get it. He's a AAA worker. He's in his AAA truck. He's got his uniform on. But still, I'm like,
he could murder you.
He's going to come back next week and rob me and murder me. I just know it.
Well, you don't want to put that out there. You don't want to manifest that necessarily, but
like,
I understand where you're coming from.
He was perfectly nice, but the whole time I was out there, I was like, anytime he talks to me, I should be telling him lies. I should be feeding him false information. Why am I being nice? Like,
oh boy.
So anyway,
oh boy.
I take my car in this morning, right? I call up the shop as soon as they open. And
to like get an actual tire.
Yeah. Because he's like, bring it. I'm like, can you look at it today? Because they're always slammed on Saturdays. But he was like, yeah, bring it in as soon as possible in case we need to order a new tire. And so I'm like, of course, just my luck. It's the nail in my tire is so close to the edge that I need a whole new tire.
Oh, that's expensive.
They can't patch it. So, well, they're going to call me. They're going to call me with a cost estimate later today. So, but I mean, what's my option? I need a tire. So.
No, yeah, of course. It's like, it's one of those things you just like have to do that. But this is another reason why I don't want to learn how to drive and don't want to own a car, because it's depreciating from the day you get it.
It's trouble. And that's why I don't ever want to own a car again. Before I always used to say, like, don't want to own a child either.
Nope. Don't
I always used to say, like, oh, I will never lease a car. That's so stupid. You're just throwing away money. It's not even yours. And then after I leased my first car, I was like, I will never own my own car again. Forget that.
Well, aren't you losing money regardless if you lease or own a car?
Like, you are. Exactly. But then when
you're
you
not tied down to this like leased car forever.
When you lease it, I can be like, this is your responsibility, not mine.
Bye. Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
Bleak.
So.
That's so bleak.
But
that's so bleak.
We're here. We're alive. So things are good.
So you didn't run over a squirrel. You just like ran over a nail?
Yeah. A nail. But there still had to have been something flap. I think there was like a pine cone also flapping on my tire because the sound it was making was not like a clink, clink. Like it wasn't like a nail sound. And
right. Yeah.
The tire wasn't flat at that point, obviously, because it had been just punctured. So the tire wasn't flapping. So
because you could have just driven to the shop.
Yeah, if I knew it was a nail. Because even, like I said, I got out and looked and I didn't see anything, so.
Right. Well, now and next time this potentially happens to you, the way you're going to spend like 40 minutes looking at your tires.
Flashlight out, like inspecting everything.
Like an insane person.
Yeah.
That'll
be me.
Well, I had an experience this week that I have not told you really anything about.
No,
it's been in the works for a few weeks. I found out through friend of the pod, Audrey, who found out through a friend of her own, not the pod, who's a former roommate of hers, who's Spanish, that like not the community of Madrid, I'm having a problem translating this word, like the city of Madrid, okay? Different, they're different. Not the state, the city. The city of Madrid like offers these courses. Did I tell you about this or no? Okay, I didn't think so. Offers like a shit ton of courses at the beginning of the school year. And things from like yoga to watercolors to ceramics to Chinese to like the list goes on and on and on, right? Obviously, certain times, random times of the day, things fill up really quick on the weekends, you know, blah, blah, blah. They're like really cheap. So Audrey sends it to me being like, you probably have a bunch of free time. Like, you could probably find something because it's like pretty booked up right now. And they start like October 1st. And I was like, okay, this is like in September, right? I check, I look, and I'm like, ooh, maybe they'll have Polish, right? I was like, that'd be good. That'd be cool. I thought maybe they'd have Catalan. Then I was like, of course, I'm not going to have Catalan. Spanish people hate Catalan. Well, you know what I mean? People not from Catalan know Spanish. Anyway, so I find Italian. And I was like, okay, well, let me see what they've got offered here. There was like a conversation Italian course, but it was like a little far away from my house. And I was like, nah, I could, but it's like twice a week and I don't do that. So I just signed up for this like advanced Italian course. So I was supposed to start October 1st. And it's like near me. But when I sign up, it's like, you're actually in this cultural center. And I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever. Like it seems, I like Googled it. It was like near me, but it like wasn't open yet. And I was like, okay, I'm sure I'll get an email. So I just like sign up. For the trimester, it's only 50 euros. Once a week, 2-hour Italian class.
Oh my gosh.
Dirt cheap, right?
That's such a good deal. I always want to take like the community college language courses around here, but it's like $450.
Well, education in the US is just expensive, period. Yeah. Period. So I'm like, sure. Porque no, right? Perché no. There we go.
Perché no.
And so I sign up. Okay. I get an email being like, JK, this course is not being taught at the cultural center. It's being taught at some library. And it's like closer to my house. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't really give a shit. Turns out this place isn't like inaugurated yet. They like redid it, but they haven't opened it yet.
Haven't done the ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yeah. I was like, our stupid fucking mayor has to go up, or president or something has to do it. She's such a little witch. But anyway, I'm like, cool. And they're like, we're going to start 2 weeks late. And I was like, fine, because I paid for it, but like, that sucks. But they're like, you'll recoup the other 4 hours later. So I was like, all right, cool. So it started this week. I roll up. I leave literally like, I'm in my head, I'm like, it can't take more than 30 minutes to get there. I leave with like 20 minutes to get to this place. It takes me like 21 minutes, right? And I'm like, fine. So I'm like you heading to the gym, speed walking, but I'm not in workout clothes. I'm in like, I'm trying to look nice on the first day of school, right?
Right, always.
Yeah, I get there. I walk in. It's like a medical center. And I'm like, what's going on? And then it's the basement of this medical center is a library. So it's really just a bunch of workspaces with like a room that has books in it, right? And I'm like, okay. So I'm sort of just like peeking around, you know? I'm like, fuck, I'm a little bit late, but it's like not too bad. Like, peeking around, seeing if I'm hearing any Italiano and coming out of any of these rooms. And I see one, and this guy is sort of like peering his head out the window also. And he's like, Italian? Or, you know, Italiano? Because this is obviously Spanish to Italian, right? I'm not engaging with my L1 at all in this class, right? And I'm like, lo siento, I'm late. And he's like, it's cool, it's cool. I walk in. This was not a full class. I am one of, there's already 4 people sitting down. And I'm like, okay, so there's 5 of us. It's me and just 4 other septuagenarians, right? I don't know what I was thinking it was going to be like, maybe a young person or two, because it was like Thursday at like 12 to 2. I thought like, oh, maybe someone will take like a long break, or there'll be like a freelancer who, I don't know, or like university students. I really had no idea. And I was like, no, yeah, this makes sense. It's just me and like all these people in their 70s. And I was like, all right.
I was not expecting that.
Okay, good, because I wasn't either. I sit down. It's like totally fine. He's like, oh my God. The teacher is like older than me, but like, he looks older than me, but I'm clearly the youngest person here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I sit down. He's like, oh, how do you pronounce your last name? And I was like, Wojciechowski, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, Polish? And I was like, yeah, but I'm from the United States. This is all in Spanish. And what does he say after that? Oh, he goes, oh, do you speak Polish? And I was like, oh, like words, like palabritas, like not much, okay? And he's like, Russian? And I was like, but no, I don't speak Russian. Like, I get, like, maybe you, but I said I was from the United States. Like,
yeah, maybe he's still like, just like,
Russian.
Yeah, maybe he's still just like stuck on you being literally from Poland.
Right. And I was just like, okay, weird. Also, like, read the room. Like, read the world. Like, don't ask me that question.
Yeah, no, oh, that's true.
It was so weird. And so all these old people are just like staring at me. They're just like, this late bastard. And I was like, okay, whatever. So
they were probably there 40 minutes early.
Oh my God, probably. They had already started talking a little bit, but like I truly arrived like 4 minutes late. Like it was not in terms of like, you know, Spanish peninsular time. All right, I was really
You were early.
I was early, right? These people just happened to, I don't know, they had a doctor's appointment or something beforehand.
Upstairs in the medical center.
Yeah. And so what we end up doing is we just sort of like introduce ourselves and going through, and that was the only Spanish that was really spoken. We speak it in Italian the rest of the time. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mind you, I had just spent my morning like reading out of my French book, like did my Polish Duolingo, did my Catalan Duolingo. I like listened to like a few Misketa songs on the way while I was like running across the city to get to this place. But I'm like a little frazzled. Yeah. So my Italian's not great. But anyway, we're going through. Everyone's like talking. They like all learned Italian through like their friends in Italy and blah, 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 blah. It's like some people are pretty good. The one woman, she's garbage, but it's fine. And it gets to me and some other woman walks in who's late. Charo walks in. She's late. And I was like, oh. Charo. I was like, okay, cool. This makes me feel better. Charo is insane. She has the same like tinted eyebrows as her hair, like that kind of old woman.
Her name is Charo, so I expected her to be insane.
Okay, well, fun fact. I did not know that Charo is a nickname. I thought it was a name. Charo's a nickname. Spanish people love insane nicknames that don't make any sense from the name they come from. Charo's a nickname for Rosario.
I'm sorry, why?
Like, what? Right? Kike is a nickname for Enrique, which makes a little bit more sense. Like Luis Miguel, like those ones kind of make more sense. But anyway,
yeah,
it's like that becomes a topic of conversation at some point during the 2-hour class. Anyway, she comes in, we are all introducing ourselves. Everyone's like intrigued by what everyone's saying. We get to me. Let me tell you. 1 minute introduction. No one asked a question. Moved right along. I was like,
rude.
Okay. Wow. We get to Charo. She's like, you know, everyone's all of a sudden back into it. They're like intrigued, right? She learned Italian by going to an Italian school, but not going to school there. She just lived in the like boarding residence.
Oh, I didn't even know you could do that.
That same. I was like, oh my God. That's when I knew. I was like, oh my God, these people grew up in a dictatorship. Like, oh my God, these people are so old. Like, So we switch activities. And the guy like writes a bunch of numbers on the board and is just like, these are things about me. Can you guess what they're about? Right. One of them is the number 6. And I'm like, oh, you speak 6 languages. And he was like, yeah. And that's why he asked me if I knew Russian, because he also speaks Russian. This man speaks, he's a French teacher. He's a French high school teacher, but he's from Italy.
Okay.
So he speaks French, Italian, Spanish, English, Russian, and Romanian.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Polish, and then I thought this was going to be like, you're now going to have a Polish instructor. Learn Romanian. I want to learn. He
said it was really similar to the dialect that he spoke. He's from Bari. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, oh, why don't I just learn it? Because it's like similar words to my dialect. Which I was like, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Because, you know, all the Romance languages, right? Anyway, to make long stories shorter, class goes on. We are supposed to do a test, but like little Mr. Thing is not really organized. So we're just like talking this whole time. We'll do the test next week. And I'm like answering questions. You know, I'm like, oh, this is this grammatical thing. This is this, you know. I'm kind of getting the cold shoulder still from the entire class. Granted, we are now a total of 6, so I'm getting the cold shoulder from 5 70-year-old people.
Why are they haters?
I don't know. And then after we do this number thing, he decides to reintroduce. We all like introduce ourselves again, but we like talk a little bit more. But I was like, why are we doing this again?
Yeah.
Like, he was like, tell us more about yourself. So we like go through the line. Everybody is retired. They're all pensioners. They're all like, oh, I'm a pensioner. Oh, I'm a pensioner. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I like to travel. Oh, this. I like the one woman who like can't speak Italian. Or I think her name is Athelia or something. She is like, oh, I love astrology. I love esoteric stuff. And I was like, ooh, you know, me giving like the, oh, that's cool. She's just like, shut the fuck up, kid. And I was like, okay. So while this is all happening, we get to me eventually. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to say. Like, I just, you know, I'm like, oh, like, I don't know. My brother lives in Hawaii. Like, I live here. My parents live in the United States. I travel a lot. I like to travel. I like to take photos. Like, I don't know. I used to work for a couple of families in Italy where I taught their kids English, and it like, no follow-up question. Not even from the teacher. Not even throwing me about. Everyone's just like, okay. Moved right on to Chato again.
Why do I hate you?
Am I being gaslit? Like, is this like, is a camera gonna come out at some point and be like, oh, LOL, this isn't actually your class? Like, it was so weird. And then then the way the class is sitting now, we're not like sitting as a round table. He's like standing and writing on the board, right? Random shit. He writes the words soldi and saldi because we're doing this thing where like someone will say something wrong and he like writes it and it's like, what are these two things, right? And he's like, soldi. Anyone heard the song Sold? You know, it's like singing them a mood song. And I was like, me. Just moves on. And I was like, there's only 6 people here. Like, you must see me. I know I'm behind an old man. It was so weird. So the way that we're sitting now is also like, this man is like leaning back on the table and it's moving the table a little bit. And he like keeps doing it a couple times a little bit. It's like, not a big deal, right? He keeps being like, oops, I'm pushing the table back. He pushes it back so hard by accident one time that, I mean, it's like right up to my chest, essentially. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm sitting up straighter than I thought I could. And he just, I mean, I'm going to do it. But this is like an audio thing, right? So he just, he turns around. You're me. I'm him. Okay. I don't remember what his name was. Here we go. And he just goes, and then continues. And I was like, you just pushed the table into me. It gives me like the evil eye. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I felt so gaslit, so crazy.
He did that on purpose. Why do they hate you?
It was so weird. But here's the other thing. Someone else was also at my table, but they were on the corner of it. So they just felt the thing like move under his arm.
Uh-huh.
You know, like it was not the big deal to him, but he didn't even look at all, which I was like, fine. All right. I forget if he was Jose Antonio or Jose Luis. There were 2 of them. I was like, you're fine with me. But this man with the cane, he could fuck off. I fucking hate him.
Knock his cane out from underneath him when you see him walking.
So wild. And then everyone was like, okay, bye. Like we all left. But I was just like, I mean, I cannot wait to go back next week. But it was an insane 2 hours of me just being continuously gaslit I was like, am I uninteresting? And I was like, I guess. I was like, old people love me.
I mean, there's being uninteresting and then just like, why are they so fascinated and interested in everyone else and then don't even have a single question for you? And that man was trying to kill you, squish you between 2 tables.
Thank you. Well, he couldn't. Well, there was a lot of space between me and the wall behind me, but I get what you mean. Yeah, it was very weird. Very weird.
Bizarre.
Anyway, I can't wait to go back. And we're doing the exam next week, and I can't wait to school their asses. He was like, oh, yeah, the exam should take like 30 minutes. And I was like, the exam will take me 10 minutes. Watch the exam. I'm going to be the last one.
You're going to be studying Italian all week frantically.
I was like, I mean, it's such a cast of characters. Because also they're like old people who like don't shut the fuck up. They're old people who are just like, oh, I have a question about this. I have a question about that. And I was like, can we get through the activity? Which is why we ended up just talking the whole time. But I was like, as a teacher of a foreign language, I just sat there also the whole time being like, oh, yeah, it's very evident someone did not come here with a lesson plan today because this is how I would run this class.
Maybe they are intimidated because you're younger and
Maybe
you speak the language. And did you mention that you mentioned that you teach English, right? So they know that you're a teacher. Maybe
I've lived here for 7 years. Like I'm not like just some random bum.
Yeah, maybe they're all just like, whoa, he's too good for us. I don't know.
I wish I could like flip my thinking into that, but being there and seeing their faces, it was a no. It was a no. It was like being on The Voice and no one turned their chair around to me. It was like being on the X Factor or America's Got Talent and I got 4 X's, except it was 5 because Chato showed up.
Yeah.
So, and the teacher, so it was 6. 6v1. So anyway,
wild.
I'll be sure to update next week about it, but it was truly
dramatic.
So anyway, we need to take a break because that was long, but those were 2 stories I had to get out. And
I'm happy you shared.
They're out there, and now we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to do spooky season, even though I just had my own spooky experience with these decrepit witches. Hello, Edward here. Just wanted to say thank you so much for listening. It means a lot to both myself and Alyson. And it would mean even more if you sent us a message at 202-630-4509 or a message from pod@gmail.com. Also, while you're at it, go ahead and throw us a rate and review. 5 stars always feels good. And check us out on amfpod.com for all the little extra content that we have. Now let's get back into it.
Welcome back. We took that break to recover.
Talk more about our stories.
Talk more about our traumatic stories and hopefully get it all out.
Yeah. I'm taking my B-reel.
So, yeah, he's doing his B-reel while I'm going to read our message from Brittany. So, Brittany says, "Hello, AMF team. Hocus Pocus 2 is officially out, and I really want to hear your take on it. I was excited to watch it, but nervous it wouldn't live up to the original. I personally like the first one best, but the remake was fun. Can't wait to hear what you think."
Well, AMF team is very funny to me.
Why is that funny? First of all, thank you, Brittany.
Yes, thank you, Brittany.
We did mention that we mentioned that we wanted to watch Hocus Pocus 2 because it came out in September.
We were going to, yeah. It came out right at the beginning of the month on October.
Mm-hmm. So it's perfect timing.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why AMF team is funny to me, but it's I've never heard that. I've never heard the AMF used that way. So I was like, oh, I giggled. Gave me a little razzle.
We're a team.
Yeah.
So.
I watched it last week. Did you watch it?
I watched it last night.
So you're fresher. You got a fresher memory.
Yeah.
This is generally how things work when we talk about watching things.
You watch things right away, and I just it leaves my mind, and then all of a sudden the day before I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to watch this.
Well, it's also because you have other things to watch. Like when we get a homework watching assignment for this podcast, it's it's number 1 on my list because I'm not watching anything else.
True. I have 5 sporting events that take precedence. So
yeah. Anyway, so what did you think? I liked it. Do you like it?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I totally agree with Brittany that the first one was the best, but I wasn't expecting this one to surpass the original.
No, not at all. Not at all. I thought it was I remember it being very fast.
Yeah.
The pacing of the movie. I was like, wow, we're just zooming on by through this movie.
Jumping right in. Yeah. I liked the way, so first of all, I was surprised by the beginning. I didn't watch the trailer or anything. I saw a few seconds here and there, but I kind of wanted to be surprised. So anytime the previews came on, I didn't watch it. So at the beginning, I was kind of surprised that there was a bit of origin story for the Sanderson sisters.
Well, did you not think it was going to be in Salem at all?
I did, but I don't know. I wasn't expecting that origin story part. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was surprised.
That origin story. There was nothing about that in the trailer, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that.
Because when I watched the trailer, I was just, all you see is the girls, the candle and the earth shake. And they're like, we're back. And I'm pretty sure that's, other things happen, I think, in the trailer, but it's very low-key. So I was gooped too. I was like, oh, getting a little backstory. And I was like, of course we're getting a backstory. It's a sequel. They always do backstories in sequels.
True.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine.
It was good. I thought they also did a really good job of incorporating stuff from the original movie, but it was done
actual footage.
Actual footage, yeah. But it was done to where if you only watched this one and you didn't see the first one, you'd be okay. But there was enough. There was enough throwback to the first one for the nostalgia factor for people to be like, oh, haha, I remember that. Oh, haha, she said that in the original.
Yes. Yeah. It was enough for both crowds. They did enough explaining, but it wasn't too pedantic to people who obviously have seen it, which is, I think, everyone who's watching this movie. I don't think anyone who's watching Hocus Pocus 2 hasn't seen Hocus Pocus.
Probably not. Only because I'm thinking about kids these days too, and Hocus Pocus is so played in the month of October. It's every night the movie's on every year. So even if you were a kid now, you've probably seen the original. Yeah,
because if you're watching Halloween movies, you're watching, as a child, right? And I don't know if your parents are letting you watch Chainsaw Massacre or whatever. But you're watching Hocus Pocus and then the Snoopy Halloween movie. And that's it.
And
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. You know what's really cute is Frankenweenie. Did you see that one?
What the fuck is that? What is that? What is Frankenweenie?
It was a cartoon Halloween movie. It came out in like, I don't know, maybe like 2011, 2012. But it's so cute. It's a little Frankenstein dog.
2011, 2012? You think No.
Yeah, Frankenweenie. No. I saw it in theaters. It was cute.
You saw it in theaters?
Yeah.
This thing I've never even heard of?
My friend and I went to see it. And
how old were you?
The reason it's burned into my memory, I was in college.
So
the reason
45.
it's burned into my memory is because they got pulled over for making an illegal left turn on the way to the movie theater. And my friend and I had no idea. I'm like, am I getting pulled over? And she was like, you must just have like a taillight out or something.
No, you were breaking the law.
The van right in front of me did the same exact thing. And they got me.
They got you.
Rude. And they gave me a ticket. And I was so mad because it was the nicest police officer in the whole world. He was like the friendliest person I've ever met, and then gave me a ticket. I was like, I would have rather you been rude. If you're going to give me a ticket still, don't be so nice.
That sucks.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what Frankenweenie is, and if children are watching it, I don't know about that. I don't know.
Watch it. It's cute.
You'd have to literally pay me to watch Frankenweenie.
It was good.
You know my bank account? You don't actually. Do you know my bank account?
I can surmise your bank account.
I think we can all of us can agree that people were mostly watching the three things before you mentioned Frankenweenie.
Yeah. Listen.
Right?
I want to know the number of people who have seen Frankenweenie.
Or even have heard about Frankenweenie. Let's set the bar even lower. People who just know what Frankenweenie is.
Fine. People who know what Frankenweenie is, let us know. I will pay you 1 penny per minute that you watch a Frankenweenie.
That's not enough pennies. You want 1,000 pennies.
It's better than no pennies.
Honestly, having a penny is more of a hassle than not having a penny.
I think my sister used to throw pennies away.
Valid. Pennies are stupid.
Which is horrifying, but yeah.
Anyway, I'm sure I could take it to a Coinstar and I'd have a good $4.
Yeah,
no, that's true. A lot. I'd have a good $5. I'd have a nickel. I have a nickel.
Yeah, don't they take a lot of money at Coinstars?
Oh no, I meant I'd only have 5 pennies.
Their cut is atrocious. But anyway, bringing it back to Hocus Pocus 2. Oh, look at me doing spells with my finger.
Okay.
Who was your favorite character?
Oh, I wasn't expecting this question. I would have. It's one of the original Sanderson sisters. None of the new cast. I was, didn't tickle my fancy.
Yeah.
Although it felt like a Veep reunion and the cast. But you've never seen Veep, have you?
No.
Oh, okay. The guy who was the magic shop owner.
Mm-hmm.
Veep. Tony McHale. Also in Veep. And Kathy Najimy was in Veep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so people kept popping up, and I was like, oh, it's like a Veep reunion. But anyway, I don't know. It's a toss-up. I don't know which Sanderson sister I like the best. I do love Bette Midler. But Sarah Parker turned it out.
She's great, yeah.
Yeah.
They all did. They all looked so good.
They looked so good.
So good.
Who was your favorite?
My favorite was Billy's head. Once his head was removed from his body and they just put him on the altar, every time they panned to him, I was like, Billy.
Wait, so you didn't like the character Billy. You just like Billy's head.
I like Billy's head on the altar. His expressions were so good.
Oh, Billy was always sassy.
He was always sassy, but even when his lips are sewn shut and they would pan to him and he'd be like.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good comedy.
He was very good.
I was kind of gooped at the story in general. I don't know what was the name of that actor in the movie who owned the shop.
Oh, who knows?
I don't remember any of their new people's names, but him.
I don't ever remember names.
The guy who owned the shop. I was like, oh, that's interesting how they tied it into him seeing the Sanderson sisters the first time when they came back, right? Which is also funny because they were like. What did they say? How long ago was 1993 or something? Oh, yeah.
How many years ago was 1993?
Yeah. Someone was like, 29. And I was like, oh, right. This movie came out when I was born. The year I was born.
It's
so I was
weird to
I'll
think
always
about
be as
that.
old as Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. It's weird to think about that because, obviously we saw it when we were kids, but, older. And it just seems like it came out like later in the 90s, but
no, it was early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s.
But I thought it was funny how they brought that in, but I did not expect him to like want them to come back. I didn't think someone was gonna bring them back on purpose.
Yeah, I didn't either, because they make it seem like it's an accident, like it's partially an accident, like it was in the first movie, but then it's also like he planned it so someone else would accidentally bring them back.
Okay, so speaking of the candle thing, and like bringing them back, I thought it was very interesting how they sort of like talked about the whole like virgin part of it, you know? Because I remember I watched Hocus Pocus more recently. I think it was like 2 years ago I watched it. And it was the first time I'd watched it in years, a really long time. So it was kind of like, I was like, wow, they're really playing up the virgin aspect in this like 1993 children's movie, right?
Well, come to find out, like everything we watched as kids had like secret, hidden, like.
But it didn't even feel
we
secret.
Shouldn't know what that means stuff, you know?
I know what you're talking about, but like it really truly feels like they're just constantly being like, well, he's a virgin. This is It's just like they're just being like virgin spray paint on a big wall.
Yes, like big flashing lights.
Yeah, like it's everywhere, right? There's like smaller things like the costume. Remember when they think someone's a cop and it's just like some...
Oh, the guy in the motorcycle.
yeah, like that's like more subtle stuff. But like truly, they're like virgin the whole time. And I thought it was more interesting how they were like they dealt with it. He was like, well, I couldn't light the candle myself. And everyone was like, what? And then, and the kid who asked it at the store.
Got it. Yeah, oh, yeah. A virgin is someone who hasn't lit a candle.
Oh, yeah, that's what that thing was.
Brilliant.
I kind of expected the cat to talk also, speaking of the store.
I was waiting for the cat to talk.
Yeah.
And then the cat never talked. But I guess they had to have some things different, you know?
Well, yeah. Yeah, it couldn't be all. That's true. It couldn't be copy.
Something that I loved was at the very beginning when they were showing the Sanderson sisters as teenagers, like those three girls that played those characters. Well, yeah, because what's her name was turning 16, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
They had like the mannerisms down. They did such a good job of like emulating them. Yeah.
Yeah. They were good. I was sort of a little like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this, like seeing the Sanderson sisters again and being like, oh, this is gonna be good. In terms of just like them reprising their roles, you know, the original three. Yeah. But I thought they did a really good job and it was funny.
They did. I have to say I was nervous too when they first popped up and I was like.
Well, they popped up singing immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is going on? But then they made it a joke in a thing where he was like, did they sing? They love to sing. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, they did sing. And then I actually thoroughly enjoyed the musical part. I thought it was a little bit too much how like the whole crowd got into it. It's like a little heavy-handed for me.
Because at the first one, like in the first one when that happened, they were already at a party where there was music and dancing. So even though the crowd was like bewitched or entranced or whatever, it was more natural. Whereas this one, they were at like a fair outside or something.
Yeah, and like there was a stage, like there was the capability, you know, like someone could have performed, right? But it wasn't already happening. But I did think it was funny that it was like a drag competition.
Yeah, so I immediately thought of you when the three were like, is this a bit? Are they doing a bit? I was like,
the bit, that was so funny. So those three are from, I think I
recognize
all
two
three of
them.
them are for Drag Race. Yeah.
I recognize two of them, but the third one I didn't recognize, but I assumed because the other two. So when we're looking at it, it would have been the one on her right. I think.
The one who was Winifred? Who was the person dressed up as?
Winifred.
Was it Sarah Jessica Parker, Bette Midler,
Sarah,
or Kevin Jimmy?
Wait. I think it was so when we're looking at it, it was the person dressed as Kathy on the left, right?
Kathy, yeah.
And then Bette Midler, and then Sarah. I think I recognize Sarah, Bette and Sarah.
That's interesting. I don't know how you recognize Sarah Jessica Parker. She's from like the 2 seasons ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe I've seen her on Twitter or something. But I was like, I've definitely seen her before.
Oh, well, look at that. Look at you, just fully believing the magic of Halloween. Or something like that. I thought it was funny. I thought they were going to have more of a role, but they didn't.
Yeah, I kind of expected more of that. But that part was funny. I liked that.
I did not also expect it to have such a, like, sweetie ending. I was like, okay, I could do without this like sweet ending. Like, can't we just like kill them?
Yeah.
Like we did in the first one, where they were like still kind of evil. But I was like, they set it up about being all about sisterhood, you know, from the beginning.
True. I mean, I guess it's interesting to have a bit of a different style ending. Like same but different.
Well, also I think in 2022 you couldn't make the same movie. You couldn't make Hocus Pocus 1 in 2022. You can't have them just be like evil. You can't have them, you know, like have the jokes.
Anything from even like 10 years ago in 2022.
True. So it makes more sense that it was done the way that it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I also thought that they would incorporate the himbo a little bit more, but they didn't.
The what?
The himbo, the like teen himbo. You know what a himbo is?
No.
Oh my gosh, you know what a himbo is?
No.
Oh man, maybe this is niche. It's like a he bimbo. It's like a dumb, beautiful jock.
That's very niche.
Oh, I didn't think it was this niche.
I call people bimbo all the time.
That's why I thought you might have known about it.
I've never heard of himbo because I just call like everyone a bimbo, whether you're male or female.
Oh no, there's himbos. Himbos, yeah. Yeah, beautiful jocks who have like the IQ.
That makes me think of like Harambe. Do you remember?
Harambe.
The gorilla. Himbo. Yeah.
Well, one thing's for sure. After this recording, I'm going to see fucking Frankenweenie everywhere, and you're going to see the word himbo everywhere.
Yep.
Great. We both learned something today.
Cursed. We're cursed.
What I would say, watch Hocus Pocus 2 wherever you find it, but we're not getting paid to do this, so I'm not doing that. Thank you, Brittany, so much for your message. I'm glad I had a reason to watch Hocus Pocus 2, even though I was going to watch it anyway. If you would like to send us a message, not about spooky season because that shit is over, call us at 202-630-4509 or leave us a message at amessagefrompod@gmail.com. Check us out on amfpod.com for extra bonus content. You can find us on Twitter and on Instagram at a message from, TikTok at a message from _ No, I lied about that. But you can find all the links, variations of a message from, on amfpod.com. And rate and review on Apple and Podcast. And I'm pretty sure that's it, but I can scroll down on the doc to check.
I'm pretty sure that's enough. If that's not it, that's enough. We got too much.
It's always a lot. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
Wait, do the book thing. Can you do the book thing?
What book thing?
You know how she says book? Can you say that?
Book.
Oh! Can you do it while saying bye?
No.
Please.
Bye. It's not as good. It doesn't work.
Okay, bye.
Bye.